Okay, so this is a build guide for ninjas, and first off we're going to be doing one that is for melee weapons, and then the second one will be for Dragon Slash. So for the melee weapons, the main person you're going to use is anyone who has Assassination as their perk. There are a number of ninjas that have this. I'm pretty sure there's like 4 or 5 that you can have, so you're very free to choose whoever you want for that. But their main perk is going to be that every time you deal melee weapon damage, it grants a stack of Assassination, up to 5 stacks, and that lasts 15 seconds and increases weapon damage, melee weapon damage, by 18%. So if you're hitting 5 times very fast, your melee weapon damage is going to go up to double what it was before, which is an incredible amount, and that is definitely the person you want to use in the main thing. Then for the first support, I put in Dragon Slash leaves behind an energized trail, and that deals base damage every time the enemies go through it. You can also instead use, let's see, one of the other ninjas. You could use Corrosive Stars, which means that the throwing stars apply energy affliction, or you could use Sword Heavy Attack Efficiency. You can be very free on this one which one you want to use. The last 4 are the ones that you definitely need to put in. So Swordmaster Ken, he's going to give you a sword damage increase of 25% every time you're in Shadow Stance. Every time you kill someone with an edged blade, I believe it is, you enter Shadow Stance. So as soon as you killed one person, you're going to enter Shadow Stance and do increased damage. And then after that, we have Cloaked Shadow, and his is similar. So when you're in Shadow Stance, you're going to deal base damage of 6 to enemies that are near you every second, which means that after you kill someone, anyone who's near you is going to be taking damage whether you're hitting them or not, which is, it's a pretty cool thing to have, to be honest. And then next is Whiteout Fiona. She's going to give increased critical rating to swords with 15. So that is going to mean that you're going to crit more often, so you're going to want to definitely use a sword that you have that you've made for a crit build. And then Deadly Blade Crash means that melee critical hits apply snare and affliction, which deal 37% of the damage you dealt every second for 3 seconds. So this is why you're going to want to have a crit build sword, and it's also why Whiteout Fiona is important, because it makes it so that your critical rating is higher, so you're going to crit more often. So with this, the team perk you're going to want to use is Endless Shadow, which means that every ninja with 3 or more stars that you have, it's going to increase Shadow Stance duration by 4 seconds, so 5 people. Once they're all 3-star, you're going to have 5 times 4 seconds, which is 20 seconds longer for Shadow Stance. So if you kill someone, Shadow Stance is going to last like 30 seconds, and in that time you're going to be doing more damage. You're going to be doing damage just by standing near them, and that is going to be really useful. For the gadgets, it doesn't really matter. You could literally use any combination that you like, whatever is best for you. Now, with the weapons you use for this, you're probably going to want to put a crit rating, a crit damage, and an attack speed if you can. Attack speed might not be as important as the crit damage or crit rating, but if you can put all those 3 on, that's what you're going to want to use. Okay, so for the Dragon Slash build, the main hero you're going to want to use is Dragon Scorch, because his perk is that it increases the range of Dragon Slash to 3 tiles, and it increases the width to 2 tiles, which is a crazy width, and it also increases the damage. I don't actually have him, and I don't have enough flux to get him out, so I can't show him in the build, but there he is, and I'll go back to the build. I put Sarah Hottep in for the moment, but she's just one of the supports you could use. She decreases the energy cost. She's not that important, because by the time you are able to do Dragon Slash again, you're going to have the energy back, so she's not really that important. But the main one you're going to want is Snuggle Specialist Sarah, because she's the one that leaves a trail behind which deals damage to the enemies, and that is going to be very useful, because obviously you're going to be using Dragon Slash as much as you can, and it's going to be wider and longer with Dragon Scorch as the main hero, so leaving a trail behind is going to be really good. Then Cloak Shadow, as in the other build, he gives the perk that when you're in shadow stance you deal damage to enemies that are nearby. Then Swordmaster Ken again, and again in shadow stance it increases sword damage by 25%, so each time you kill someone you're going to want to do a Dragon Slash, and then you'll be in shadow stance, and anyone that's left around, if there is any, that you haven't killed from your Dragon Slash, you can go up to them and they'll take damage when you stood near them, and then you'll do more damage when you hit them. Then you're going to want anyone that has Assassination. This is Lotus Assassin Ken, but you can use anyone that has the Assassination perk, so every time you hit someone, it's like the soldier with the weapons, every time you hit someone the damage is going to increase, and so that's pretty useful. And then lastly is Deadly Blade Crash, who gives the enemies Snare and Affliction every time you hit them, and it lasts for 3 seconds and it applies every second, so that's another useful one. So this is mainly built around the Dragon Slash, but it also applies to the melee weapons as well. So you're going to want to use Dragon Slash as your main weapon, and then when you're waiting for that to cool down, obviously just hit them with your sword. You could also get someone in here that buffs the throwing stars if you want to. That's up to you. It depends whether you want to use your sword or your throwing stars when you're not using Dragon Slash. That's the personal preference. And again, we have that team perk which increases the shadow stance duration, which is going to mean you're going to do more damage for longer. Again, gadgets in this build not important, you can choose whichever one you want. And again, I'll just say that the main ninja is Dragon Scorch, but I just don't have him at the moment, but he is the one that you're going to need for the commander. So I hope you found these ninja builds useful, and I hope you get the best out of it. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.